Hey! The second I say hey, Bengal goes crazy. Oh, look at this. My tripod is not. This is what happens when you get a budget tripod off of Amazon. Instead of going to your mom and pop audio video store. Is that even a thing? Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Happy Friday. Let's get some announcements out of the way. Well, first off, this is Pumpkin. Pumpkin is boarding for the week. I don't really do boarding, but my good friend Andy and Kay, they have my good friends Andy and Kay. They have Pumpkin. Pumpkin recently lost his buddy Kaitoon, and they are both senior boys. I've watched them several times over the years, and I'll be watching him again in a few more weeks. But I thought I would take this opportunity because he needs a little critical care. He's missing his bottom incisors. His top incisors are fine, and occasionally he needs his molars worked on. So I thought I would do that. I've got this crazy contraption which you may have seen, not necessarily me. I've shown it once or twice before, but I use it when I'm doing like a health check and I need both hands free. So we'll put the live camera on this thing, and I'll do that. Toby. Oh my gosh! Everybody just had carrots not too long ago. Ron, these teeth will not grow back. Teeth in general do grow back, but if there's damage to the root, there are many situations where piggies lose a tooth and the tooth does not grow back. If it breaks off, even below the gum line, it can come back, but in this case, and pretty frequently, piggies can lose their teeth and permanently lose them. So that is something to consider. Okay, so let's just do the announcements. This live stream is sponsored by the channel members and the patrons over on Patreon. If you are over there, then you've been seeing a little bit of behind the scenes of and a little bit of inclusion about the dirt pigs. We've had some fun in the chats, as well as we've been talking about some medical issues with some of the patrons, solving those problems, helping each other out, fostering a good community there, sharing pictures. If you're a channel member, you may have noticed that some of the videos are being released early, a couple hours early for the channel members. Whenever it makes sense to do that, I want to do that. But yeah, let's have a fun Friday. So I'm going to it looks like it's Becca's birthday. Happy birthday. Before we do the tooth thing, I got a message asking about, and maybe you guys can share this in the chat and for the rebroadcast in the comments. Has anyone ever experienced, well, first off, do you have multiple water bottles? If you've got a group of pigs, do you have multiple water bottles? And if you do, my question then is, do your piggies prefer one water bottle? Or do they use each bottle equally? Do you find that one water bottle empties quicker? Now there's so many factors. It could be maybe one spout, the water comes out easier. Or it could be that one spout may be ergonomically easier for them to drink, or if they are at different heights, they might prefer one. It could be the position. It could be that just, pigs are creatures of habit and they like the water bottle that they like, and the extra one, even if it's right next to it. BB's taking a nap right now over there, so he'll be here soon, but I'm I'm gonna give him a chance to nap. Let's take a little peek over there. Shh. BB's all right. BB's sleeping over there. Okay. There is a little fly in here that is annoying me. Okay. We had one other question from Jackie. Have I ever thought about doing a Discord channel? People have asked, but I think what a lot of people don't quite get, not saying that this is the case with you, Jackie, but my job is rescue. My job is to take care of these animals, to answer emails. Secondarily, then I produce videos to try to further my rescue work, raise awareness. But I'm not like your typical content creator, which I hate that term, or influencer, which is the even worse term. My job is really to work with the animals. If you can think of some really obvious benefits to having a Discord where it doesn't take any time away from, as it is every day, I have a list of chores that I did not get to, usually my own interests. Pumpkin Ann says hello. So I if there's a value to be had with Discord, I've got the YouTube channel, the Instagram, the Patreon, and producing 3 videos a week on average, sometimes more. I'm answering dozens of emails every day. I'm gonna have to catch this fly. I have a big like iced tea pitcher, and I flip it over and I catch flies and I let them outside. Yeah, well, what would the benefits be other than duplicating? I mean, what's the point of Discord? Can somebody sum up what the purpose of it is? I'm not sure how old Pumpkin is. I think he might be, he's at least 3. Ron, congratulations. Look, I just got 2 baby piggies. How long should I keep them separated from the other 2? So I assume they're all girls. Discord is basically a live chat facilitation app. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Golden Retriever Mom. Hey, Pablo. So, several message channels that you can allow people to join in and discuss. We already have that on Patreon. And if you join that, it helps my rescue efforts. For $1 a month, you can get access to all the chats. So Ron, let me know, you've got 2 baby piggies. How long should you keep them separated from the other 2? I'm assuming, okay, so you're saying they're boys. Now, what do you mean? Is your plan to put the 2 baby boys with your adult boys? Is that the plan? Pumpkin. Pumpkin, look. Okay, well, Ron, have you not read my care guide? I don't want to go off. I don't want to get upset, but you are definitely triggering me. My free guinea pig care guide on my website, scottiesanimals.com, is split up into 5 sections. The first section is about bonding and cage mates. The second section is cage setup. The third section is diet, I believe. The fourth section is taming. And the 5th section is common illnesses. So the very, very, very first section is bonding and cage mates. And there's a video called Bonding Rules. And if you've been a channel member as long as you have, I would imagine that you'd have been reading through my care guide, because that is what coming to the rescue and doing an adoption at the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue is where I can share all of that information. But it would literally take hours and hours to share everything that I've learned. And so I put everything that I've learned in my free guinea pig care guide. Under no circumstances, if you have a bonded pair, should you add 1 or 2 more boys. Absolutely not. That is rule number 1. And then also rule number 2, I mean, that's not rule number 2, but the second thing in your situation is that the chances of 2 young pigs getting along, 2 young babies from the same litter getting along long term are, I would say, 50-50 or less. They're going to be going through their 3 to 6 month to a year hormonal phase at the same time. They're going to be trying to be dominant. 6 months from now, check in with me and let me know. But if you want to split up the bonded pair that you already have, add a 3rd pig. These are generalizations, and there are always exceptions to the rule. But those exceptions are less than 5%. Would you risk breaking up a bonded pair of boys? So I guess I just don't understand. But I'll tell you what, I facilitate adoptions every week. I plead with people, read my care guide. That's how you save their life, learning about common illnesses, learning about taming and handling and picking them up and discovering things like tooth issues, like digestive problems. Also, it's just a way to bond with them and enjoy their company. But so many people, I'm just hoping that they all will bond. Well, they won't. I can guarantee you that they won't. And not only that, I can almost guarantee that if you put, even for a play date, if you put one of those babies or both of those babies in with that bonded pair, they'll most likely all fight. So I urge you, there's what's called the Dunning-Kruger effect, and it has to do with expertise and no expertise. And it turns out that people who have a lot of expertise, and I would say that I have a lot of experience when it comes to guinea pig behavior, taming, and all of the things that I've learned volunteering. And the more you learn, the more you take for granted the fact that these things are common knowledge, because they're not. And the flip side is somebody who, say, goes to the pet store and the employee says, I'll tell you everything you need to know. Here's the cage, here's the food, and that's basically it. They say, great, I've got the cage that they recommend, I've got the food that they recommend, I'm done, I don't need to learn anything about guinea pigs. Well, and somebody who goes to the pet store and the employee who doesn't have or has never had guinea pigs tells them what their manager told them 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years ago when they first started training. They're like, here we go. I'm confident that I've taught you everything. And they're like, great, I know everything, so I don't need to look it up. Now, the only chance with people who think that is maybe I can catch them with some cute video or some community chat where we're all together, and then they realize, oh man. Usually what happens is they figure out that they don't know something or a lot of things, and then they start their research. But meanwhile, the guinea pig that they have has not been living the best life. So Jackie says, I'm a Patreon and a YouTube member, and I've been so long I've forgotten all the different pay levels that I have. Okay, so basically, you can choose your own if you want. The lowest, cheapest one that gives you pretty much access to most everything is the dollar level. At $5, you also get a 50% off discount for a T-shirt on my shop, which basically you're getting it for the cost to print it. Um, then at the $10 level, you get 10% off my shop store wide, as well as, and everybody gets access to all the chats, um, all of the feeds. There have been some things at the $5 level or more posts that I have shared, where like digital downloads and things like that for that level. Um, and then I think it breaks off at like 15 and 25, something like that. All right, let's feed pumpkin. So Ron, I hope I've convinced you not to try it. But I can't tell you what to do. The heart wants what the heart wants, and what do I know? Who knows? You could be that one in a million where all four of your pigs get along. Let me know in the comments. Does anybody have a trio that is getting along, that lives fine? Let me know. There's always exceptions to the rule. Life is not a dogma to be defended, but a reality to be explored. Tattoo that on your back in Old English. You probably don't have the space, but it's about learning. It's about being open-minded, and changing. If I'm going to change my mind about something, it's going to be to improve the lives of animals, not to cut corners, not to save money. If I can improve the lives of animals, save people time, money, and hassle and heartache, then that's great. And sometimes you can. But what I'm going to recommend is for the well-being. Put that on a purple shirt, please. Life is not a dogma to be defended, but a reality to be explored. Haha. Fun story. That was in the there's like a sign in front of churches. There was this like Unitarian, non-denominational church where I went to school in Savannah, Georgia, and that sign, that's what they had, and that is a credo that I live by. It's hard to go wrong when you try to connect to actual reality instead of defending a dogma that you don't even understand why you're defending it. All right. Hug Guinea Pig has 3 boys together, and they have a trio currently, and I think that even 4 boys together at one point. That's amazing. Saskia also has a group of 4 boys living together right now, 3 or 4, and they all have some kind of illness or injury, or they are, a senior. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this thing on. I'm gonna put this down here. Okay, this shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, we're gonna flip this around. Look at that. How fun. Pumpkin, come here, buddy. So this is, here we go. This is a mixture of half Sherwood and half like green apple. You want some? Are you used to it? And then this is one of the baby gas drop syringes with the tip cut off. He smells it. I'm going to recommend to Pumpkin's dad to also try the fine grind papaya, because if you've got a piggy that's eating critical care every day, and I'd also get the Emer Aid. So you want to, let's take a look. He's drooling a little bit, and I hope that that's not a representation of back tooth issues. And there's not going to be much to see here because he doesn't have the teeth to see. Poor Pumpkin. He's like, why is everybody always manhandling me? I wouldn't have lost my teeth if I knew that I was going to get manhandled all the time. So just take my word for it. There's no incisors. It's okay. So I go to the side. I don't have... You gonna eat that? I don't have teeth to get it move around. But normally if the incisors are like this, I like to go like this. Or like this. Does that make sense? If you try to go like this, it can be more difficult. I like to go... And also sometimes sharp. You're poking. So I go like this. So the flat part goes like that. And then I turn it. Obviously that was exaggerated. Okay. So bear with me. If you guys have any questions, it does help to put a question mark first. Obviously, a super bright and loud super chat will get my attention, but that's not necessary. But I am grateful for those of you who have done that. Who's drinking water? Is that grape behind me? I was focused over here. So, as if Pumpkin isn't already annoyed with me. Pumpkin. And then I'll see if I can catch this annoying fly. So it's thicker. You want to go slow. And obviously you don't want it to go down the wrong pipe. When it's wetter, there's a more of a tendency for that to possibly happen. Pumpkin. I have some fine grind papaya, so I'll see if he likes it, and I can recommend it to Andy. I also like the Ameriade IC. You have to get a prescription to get that. But you can go on like any of these Vet RX or there's a number of online pharmacies for pets, and they should have it. There's so many of them that if the one that you've used before or that you find on a search doesn't have it, just look for another one. It's Ameriade, Emergency Aid. They have an over-the-counter one that you can buy, and then they have one that requires a prescription. You just buy it, and there's a field in these online pharmacies where you have to name your vet and then either give them the email or the phone number. Just arrived here. Is Pumpkin on a total baby food diet? No, he can eat. He eats wheatgrass and he can eat hay, and he does eat pellets, but he is missing his bottom incisors. And so this is a supplemental diet. Remember also critical care and most emergency foods have a yeast culture ingredient in there, so they are probiotic, but he also does get Benebac. But, you know, he's a little worried, I think, because he's in a new house. He doesn't know. You remember me, though. He does seem a little... I wouldn't say lethargic, but he does seem shy right now. He's only supposed to get 3 of these, which I would give as much as possible. 3 does not seem like very much, but it's just a supplement to his diet. So I want to see what his poops are looking like. Come on. Go, go, go. So that was a 2.5. Okay. I see Mino's in the house. I need to make some new emojis for the troublemakers. He is okay. It's hard to tell. I will be monitoring him closely. you know, he just lost his buddy not too long ago to a tumor, I believe. So, okay, come on, Bubba. Come on. There you go. Good. We can do one or two more. So this syringe, this is the syringe that came with the baby gas drops. This stuff is thick like cement, so I'm only able to get... You want to find that consistency. There you go. What I like about this syringe is... So can you see right here? It doesn't have the rubber. This syringe does not have the rubber. It's just designed with like a plastic stopper, which means that the rubber can't wear out. So if you modify this for your critical care and you have it at the right consistency, this will basically last forever unless they chew up the tip. So Allison's in the house. Yeah, so everybody, if you've got a green, if your name is in green and you've got a little emoji, then that's a channel member. So thank you to the channel members. And actually, it is true. Many of the channel members are also patrons. And that is just amazing. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so that was a half. So that's 4.5. And we'll give him a break. So I want him to like me. But this is a good way to pay close attention to him. Maybe he will poop. And he said that he made a basically a perfect poop, but he has been struggling with soft poops, which you could imagine a pig with tooth issues could be struggling with soft poops if they're not eating as much. Thank you, Becca. Scarlet Raven from New York. New York, where all the best salsa is made. Right? New York City! Does anybody else remember that? Look at this guy. Yeah, he's a sweet kid. Very, very loved. Come on, people. Give me a like. 28 likes. Come on. Like it. Like this live. If you don't like this live, I'm going to end it right now. Boom, it went from 28 to 31 to 37. See that, Pumpkin? That's like holding the audience hostage. Let's do it again. 41. There's 4 more of you holding out. Just kidding. Maybe people are driving and they're listening and they can't. Or maybe the phone's across the room. Ding dong, dong, dong. Somewhere in LA. Not me. I don't know if many people realize that my house is 186 miles from the rescue. Okay, let's flip it back around. Okay. Mr. Pumpkin, you can turn yourself around. Valerie shows up right here. Valerie, did you like this video? She might be watching. I don't know if she's watching on the TV. So it's hard to like if you're watching on a TV. I get that. That could be part of it. The bird's awake. The bird is awake. Pumpkin, you want to come down here? Let's get the bird. Bee, 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 bee. Bee, 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 bee. Bee, 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 bee. Bengal, do you want to say hi to Pumpkin? You're not going to start chattering your teeth, are you? Bird, if you're going to poop, do it now. If you're going to poop, do it now. BB, if you're going to poop, poop right now. BB, do you gotta poop? BB, do you gotta poop? Whoa, BB, do you gotta poop? Okay. All right. BB, you get up here. 44, 40, I see 43. Okay. Here we go. Bengal, you want to come up? We're going to catch this fly, but not right now. Ugh, okay. Okay, Bengal, I want you to be nice. I want you to be nice, Bengal. Oh, where'd he go? There's Pumpkin. Pumpkin. Oh, no. Pumpkin. Oh. He climbed into my new playpen area. Right? Did you guys see the video where I set this up? Not you too. Come on. Oh, come on. Come on. BB. Oh, I'm sorry, BB. Ugh. Okay. No, not you. No. Ugh. Okay, here we go. All right. Boop, 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 doop. Where'd Bengal go? Where'd Bengal go? Here he is. Oh, Pumpkin. Pumpkin comes alive. All right. Careful. Pumpkin, that's how you get your weenie bit. Okay, let's drop the camera down here a little bit. Stinky, stinky boys. All right. Is this your funky, gross poop? Bengal. Michelle's in the house. Where was that? That's crazy, Mino. Yes, keep me posted if there's like a big dump situation that you guys are dealing with. Let me know the details. I will help share any information. Dominate him, Pumpkin. Dominate him. Get him. Get him. You're not chattering your tooth, Bengal. So speaking of that, Bengal, he is missing one molar or incisor on the bottom because he's a bad kid. Where's BB? Here he is. How old is Bengal? Bengal's probably 5.5. Look at these old boys. Hi, boys. You happy? You happy to have a friend to hang out with? You got a bunch of friends. You got a bunch of friends here, Pumpkin. You got a bunch. Here, you want a little taste of this? I was just going to see if this maybe puts him in a better mood. All right, Mino. Don't start. She's causing trouble. I'm fairly certain that Brexit was like disastrous for the economy, but I don't know. And I don't want to talk about it. Okay. Here's a question from Mrs. Cloud. Do you have any hints to encourage guinea pigs to bond? I have 2 young males who can only tolerate each other with a divider between them. Watch my video called You Can't Bond Guinea Pigs. Search Scotty's Animals, You Can't Bond Guinea Pigs. And I think that will explain it. There's nothing you can do to make a pair of boys that don't want to get along. But there's plenty of things that you can do to ruin it. Like if you had 2 pigs that were getting along and you put them in a cage that was too small, if you didn't give them enough hay, enough water, enough pellets, if you set the cage up where there was a lot of dead ends, a lot of areas where a piggy might feel confined or cornered or trapped. If they were in a stressful situation, there's just a million things that you could do that would make them more likely to fight. But if they want to fight, they're going to fight. For pigs that live side by side, that can tolerate each other side by side, I would do, a play date. I'd wrap your hand in a towel, put them in a neutral environment with a pile of hay, maybe some tunnels. Is it worth trying to bond after a year or so? Yeah, so here's what I'm saying. Do play dates. There's no difference really between a bonding session and a play date, other than the assumption and understanding that you're putting 2 pigs that can't get along together for a short period of time. Like, if there by some miracle, if these 2 could get along and stay bonded, I don't know. I mean, obviously I can't adopt Andy's piggy. So Bengal would have to just go live with Pumpkin, huh? Or they would have to just visit each other every week. So what I'm saying is, try a play date, and if they get along, then the play date just never ends. It's the never-ending play date. Ah, turn around. Tell me what you see. Bibi, are you a luck dragon? Look, it's a luck dragon. Turn around and tell me what you see. It's the never-ending BB. Oh, so innocent. So that's what I would do. I'd put them together and wrap your hand in a towel. And when they fight, they go back to their respective areas. This is pretty amazing. No humping. Now I wonder if I put them, let's do an experiment. Let's do an experiment. Let's put them both in Bengal's house. And let's watch. We'll take the house out. Okay, we're gonna go up. We're going up, up, up. It's our moment. I'm gonna catch this fly. Oh, this fly is annoying me. Okay, now I gotta wrap my hand. So it's different when they're just stuck on a pillow. BB, let's get that iced tea thing real quick. Let's close the door. Okay, so right now, Pumpkin made a funky smell, and Bengal's smelling it. I thought about doing live playdate bonding sessions. It's a lot more work than just sitting there. Yeah, I think it's a really good idea to do a playdate if you've got single boys that can tolerate each other for 5 minutes or so. Ooh, the fly! Oh my gosh, you guys. Can you see him in there? The fly just flew in here on his own. Can you see him flying around? Anyway. I'm going to get this fly out of here. BB, you stay here. Here, BB, you supervise. Up. Okay, you're in charge. You're the babysitter. The only problem is now I've got to kind of stand over here. Okay. Wow, Scarlett, that's a deep cut. The record review. You know, I would do more record reviews, except that my record player is completely covered by multiple pig cages in my room. And so accessing the records and the player is like very difficult. Because back then I didn't have nearly as many piggies. Look at this. They're both grooming at the same time. What dorks. What dorks. Good night, Amanda. Good night, Moon. Okay, let's put this in the middle. So if I was doing a play date at the rescue, this is what I would do. If I was doing a bonding session. Toby can't handle it. Bengal, why are you so agreeable? You know, I wouldn't count our chickens. But I'm happy. So maybe Kay and Andrew will watch this. And they get to see Pumpkin having some fun. Look at their colors are pretty similar. That orange is pretty similar. Okay. But the only thing is, Pumpkin's not my piggy. And it's only been like a few minutes. So Pablo says, my Wolfie got his molars trimmed coming Tuesday, first time, because they're mixed uneven, says our vet. Wolfie is 7.5-year-old agouti. Wow. So it's this coming Tuesday. Just keep up with the critical care, and just have him be able to eat whatever he can, and make sure that you get some pain meds, meloxicam, and it wouldn't also hurt to have as much of different type of critical care as possible. All right, I'm gonna raise this up and then zoom in so that I can stand instead of sitting on my knees. That's better. Yeah, it would be sad, but that's what a play date is. He's going to be here for a week, and then he's going to be here for another couple weeks coming up soon. And I'll tell you what, it's getting funky. I can smell it. And Bengal's already about to start crying because he's a little baby. Better get my hand ready. Bengal. Pumpkin came out of his shell. Most likely, the tooth trim has to be done under some type of sedation. How long will it take until I have to go with him for the next molar trim? It depends. It's very important that during the recovery you're prioritizing hay. Check out my Tooth Issues Explained video. Yeah. One day my bedroom will be in the garage. And luckily the garage is not very temperature controlled, so that probably would never happen. We're 100 degrees in the garage. So check out my live stream video called Tooth Issues Explained. And it talks about just all the considerations, all the cascading effects of tooth problems. Yeah, I like that when the boys do their little circle. Very serious for them. It's hilarious, but this is very serious business. What do you say, bird? What do you say, BB? What are you doing? Yep, that is a Star Wars print. Crystal sent me that print a long time ago. It's amazing that I can remember that. Who sent me what prints? Connie sent me that print. And this print, actually. Yeah, molar trims. The molars can do a whole bunch of things. So if you imagine the bottom of the screen is like their gum line, the molars are supposed to basically do this. Sometimes, and say the tongue is down here, Sometimes the molars will do this, and that's bad. Sometimes the molars will do this. If the top molars, if they grow too much, then the jaw can't close enough. Generally, if they're lined up, then they should wear down evenly. But sometimes the molars could do this, or sometimes a little piece of the molar breaks off. I'm glad somebody's paying attention to them. Give me a shout. So anything other than the molars being small and in check can be a problem. It can hurt, it can cause the jaw to become weak, and it can create a whole bunch of cascading effects, which are explained in the video Tooth Issues Explained. Yeah, this has been pretty mellow, pretty peaceful. So I wouldn't mind leaving Pumpkin with Bengal for a little while I cleaned cages or something. Pippi, you never discovered your other... Yes, you didn't discover your other carrot. Now Pumpkin is stealing some pellets. Hi, Rizzy. Yeah, actually, they're just pretending to get along. What do you say, bird? BB, you're getting my shirt all dusty. Yeah, but I know Bengal pretty well. And I know his tolerance. And we're pretty close to the end of it. And if you see Pumpkin, you see that? You see that's like the awkward P. Pumpkin really wants to be dominant in this case. And he doesn't like Bengal, who is coming out of his shell a little bit more. These are very subtle things. As far as who is boss, this has to be, we'd have to really watch this play out. And there doesn't have to be a definitive boss necessarily. Like, there doesn't have to be a dominant one and a submissive one. They just have to come to an understanding. I've seen equal humping. Okay, so Pablo, it's a good question about the teeth. When will he be able to chew hay again? If he is unable to chew hay now, then it's pretty bad, because usually what stops is hard veggies. And then if you chop the veggies smaller, they can usually get it. So like I said, we don't know what's going on unless the vet took a picture or told you or showed you. Joanne's in the house. So what's happening with these molars that need them to be trimmed? If it's like this, then that could really be not only physically blocking the food going in, but it could make it so the teeth, the jaw has gotten weak. If the molars are not overgrown, but they're growing in a weird direction, like they're slightly overgrown, but they're growing into the tongue, then anytime there's chewing, the tongue is hitting sharp molars. That could really hurt. But it may or may not have weakened the jaw. So there's just so many factors. I would be just closely monitoring the poops. If a piggy's not eating very well, or has issues physically preventing them from eating or causing pain, those poops are going to get smaller and smaller and potentially going to get squishier. So what are the poops looking like now? Bengal, you're being such a good boy. The notorious BBG. The yellow gangsta. BB is an LA bird. He's from San Gabriel. San Gabriel Valley. Right? Right, BB? BB, you got to throw up your east side. East side. East side, yo. Guinea pigs never die. Well, if you can share any information or experience about your piggy's tooth issues, that in the chat here, that'll really help us. So I'd love to know, did your vet prescribe any pain medication? How long were you seeing issues before the tooth trim? Was your piggy sedated? There's a whole bunch of questions that we could have. What do you say, bird? BB up. Yay! Yes, BB is my soul brother, my soul bird. For sure. Right, BB? Okay, so let's keep reading. Well, Carrie says maybe Bengal can sense Pumpkin is unwell. You know what? It's been my experience, actually, that guinea pigs are jerks, and that a guinea pig will be peaceful when they are ill, but a healthy guinea pig will take advantage of an ill guinea pig and bully them a lot of times. If Pumpkin was unwell, I think he'd be getting even more relentlessly humped. So guinea pigs says Medicam, and the piggy was sedated. So Medicam is what I would expect because it's an anti-inflammatory and it has pain relieving properties. The issue was the bottom one never grew out for some reason, and the top one grew and became fang-like. That's interesting. Something like that, I would imagine you would want to monitor it every couple months, get it looked at just to make sure. And it would be nice if that bottom tooth would start to grow, but it could be a root issue. I'd make sure that your piggy's getting adequate vitamin C. Not that they're not, but I would do extra green peppers. Unless for some reason they're very old and have arthritis, I would try to give them at least 50 milligrams of vitamin C every day. All right. And there's still a fly in here. So, okay. Now Pablo asks, are they growing faster than they can get trimmed from their hay consumed due to their age, slowing down eating? Well, in theory, you would think that if, potentially if they're slowing down because of old age, the teeth would also grow at a slightly slower rate. Can't say for sure on that, but some pigs just develop tooth issues and some don't. I would promote hay eating. So the best way to do that would be, I like herbal blends. hay-based cookies. You get the herbal blends. Um, where's my? I got a bunch of them, but where is my herbal blends? Small Pet Select makes some really good ones. Oh, we got a fancy one. This is Heavenly Green Crunch. For seniors, they also make one called Young at Heart. But so here's what I do. I just take the hay. Boys, check this out. And then I take a little bit of this, and you just sprinkle it on the hay, put a little bit in the pellets. Check it out. Let's take this out. What do you think, boys? Wow, I'm smelling like, what is that, like lemon? What do I smell? Dandelion leaf, dandelion root, raspberry leaf, nettle leaf, lemon verbena. That's what I'm smelling. Chamomile, lemon balm, rosemary, linden leaves and flowers, green oat tops. Yeah. So if you've never tried any Small Pet Select, there is a 15% off coupon, probably in the description of this video, definitely at the bottom of the homepage, Scotty's Animals. You click that link, and it gives you 15% off. So I'd stock up on a whole bunch of stuff, because it's really meant for first-time customers. If you use the link and you are a repeat customer, it gives me credit for the purchase. It just doesn't give you any discounts. But they're always, if you get their newsletter, they're always putting different things on sale. Pongo. Look at that though, right? This is a good ad for it, because here, Pongo, you can have some too. They like it, and you don't need much to really enhance the hay. And so I would say that's one good way to promote them for eating hay. Now he's eating the pellets that have it. So derp derp, is that Kay? I am a pumpkin's mom. Derp 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 derp. Is that you, Kay? Young Margaret, that's a really good boys. So don't worry, I'm ready to stop any. They've been going good for a little while. Yes, guinea pigs can get arthritis in the jaws. Your mom's watching Pumpkin, and all of a sudden you're causing trouble. Yes, piggies can get arthritis in their jaw. Joanne says, I've lost 2 of my piggies from complications from using meloxicam after surgeries. Vet research says it can cause ulcers, and one of the piggies had part of his colon disassociated. I have not heard anything like that. I wonder what the dosage would be. Kay, if you want, I can send you home with some of this. Okay. Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you guys so much for taking such good care of him. And I hope that you're enjoying seeing him with Bengal. I was also going to let him do a play date with Werner, who is a kind of a longer foster. He's a resident. I'm just taking care of him for my pal Will. But yeah, this is going smashingly well. If I didn't know Bengal so well, I would say, boom, he's got like a new friend. Um, we'll we'll see if he doesn't blow it. Small Pet Select has bundles, and you can try a variety for good prices. Yes, that's true. They do. Uh, and they are not cheap. But like I said, you take a pinch and you put it in the hay. They have other forage blends and things that come with hay. What I like about these herbs is it's a pretty good price, and it's not like they're filling it up with hay, which you already have. Um, so, but what you could do is you could figure out what it is in these things that they like the most, and then you could buy, like, say, dandelion or raspberry leaf or lemon verbena. I'm sure you could buy herbs in bulk, but these are really great blends, and you're supporting a small company that's family run, that does a really good job, that really, really does. They really do care about animals. They have made so many generous donations to the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue when they've taken on emergency situations. After this 400 this past summer, they really, really stepped up. They sent us a lot of food, a lot of hay, a lot of stuff. Ron is growing dandelions. Some grassy yards, it's almost impossible not to. But yes, piggies, right? We've said that every part of the dandelion is edible for piggies. Mino only collects from the woods. Mino's out there with her basket, her little basket. Mino, don't go into that house. That witch is, she says, that nice old lady says, just come on in. Come on in for just a minute. I want to show you something. I want to show you my doll collection. Don't trust her. Get him, BB. Is this the end of it? Bengal. So, can you see? Whoa. Saskia just posted that 3 of the Dirt Hole girls had babies today. That's crazy. 3 of them. So that could be 10 piggies or more. What kind of grass do you all grow? Rizzy is super excited. What? Is that in response to the babies? Or wondering what O-grass is? Wow. Bro, I'm in Gur, and we have 75% shitty hay in our pet shops. Pablo's in Gur. I'm pretty sure he's saying Germany. So in Germany, I don't know if you're like in the city or in the country, but I would imagine, boys, I would imagine that there's horses. Maybe you can find some grass hay from a feed store, a place that sells to horses, and you can get it in little pieces. Chanel Flex. Bonjour. Bonsoir. Guinea Pigs Never Die wants me to say hi to Briar. Hi, Briar. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say, hi, Briar. I'm not going to say, hi, Briar. No matter how much you beg, I won't say, hi, Briar. Briar. Hay from the farmer, whether in the city or the countryside. So, these guys have been chilling for a little while. But Bengal's like a little baby. He's like, this is my herbally yummy pile. In Germany, you have specific farmers for hay. Yeah. Hay farmers. Hay farmers. Oat, Timothy, and Orchard. That would be a really great treat, especially if you got it on sale. I would guess a batch or two would be no problem. And I wouldn't mind. Those girls are already plump and juicy, but they could certainly, wouldn't hurt for them to. What? BB, we're gonna catch this fly. This fly is super annoying. Is there such a thing as hay being in season? Yeah. Isn't there such a thing? Yeah. Of course. Hay don't grow in the winter under snow, but there might be places, and also it has to do with light, right? So even if you live in a place where the climate is moderate, like Southern California, you're going to get light at different angles at different times of the year. And so I would guess even if you could grow grass, hay, during the winter, it wouldn't grow as fast. And that could be another thing is even if it does grow, they might not be harvesting. I'm not a farmer. I'm not a vet and I'm not a farmer. I'm not a vet, I'm not a farmer. Here, let's do something fun. The pigs look chillax. That's why we're going to ruin it. We're going to ruin it with a tunnel. So this is what I would do if I was bonding piggies. Let's move this out of the way. First step when I'm bonding piggies at the rescue, I put a tunnel in. And I put the tunnel, this tunnel, you could make it really wide, but look, I'm making it narrow. See that? I'm making it so narrow that really only one pig can fit in at a time. Do something fun. Hey, look at that, guys. There's 54 people watching live and 70 thumbs up. How's that possible? Don't tell me people have left and new people have come in. My heart can't take that. Never leave. Never leave me. BB, you won't ever leave me. Oh, so much dust. Ooh, look at those wings. All right, we got to focus on these boys because just as expected, the tunnel is causing chaos. Chaos that we can't see. Yeah, let's drop it down. Let's see if we can try to see in to the tunnel a little bit. Pumpkin. Pumpkin was in the tunnel, and I moved it. He's like, I want the tunnel. Go, baby, go. BB up. Let's put you over here. BB up. You don't want to be up? Hi, Bengal. Hi. He's a good boy. You've been such a good boy today. See, this is what happens. This is what we do at the rescue. We put it narrow so that only one pig could get in there, and it causes trouble. And if they can figure out how to get along without causing trouble, then it's a good bond. So then I'll take it out for a minute, and that usually causes the reset of them to start getting rambunctious again. Because I would rather them get rambunctious and be little jerks at the rescue rather than someone take their piggies home, drive home an hour sometimes. Bird. BB.
Hi, BB.
Hey, BB, 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 he's my BB. You got something stuck in your crop, BB? So, if you've had birds, they do this thing sometimes where it looks like they're yawning. He's just got this area, and it's probably got feathers stuck in it down there. So he does this for a minute or two. Totally normal. It's not normal if they don't stop. You got to work it out, BB. Look at this. I almost don't want to bother them. That's really great. Bengal, you have a new friend? You have a new friend, Bengal? Pumpkin. We're going to have to work out a thing. Pumpkin. Bengal, can you just enjoy his company? Look, he's nibbling your ear without having to get up. We should just do this on the play dates. I don't need to have the camera on the lives. Look. Did you just come over? I thought you were going to lay down and be a nice kid. Don't look at me, Pumpkin. Okay, so now we put this back in like this. Oh, and there was that fly. I'm going to catch him. He's over there. He's over here. Ha-ha! I got him. It is stinky. Can you see this? You see him in there? You see him? I am like a wizard when it comes to catching flies. I'd rather not kill them if I have a choice. Bird, what happened? What happened? Baby, don't poop right there. Bird, you pooped. You pooped on the grid. Gross. Oh, all right. I'm gonna sit. They're being very quiet under there. Whew, it is funky. Pablo, that is correct. I'm like Bon Jovi, a rock star and a cowboy. On a steel horse I ride, and I'm wanted dead or alive. Preferably alive. I choose alive. Woo! That is your butt, Bengal. If they had like a smell lineup, I don't know if that's not a thing, but if they had a smell lineup of funky pockets, I could pick Bengal's funky pocket out of any smell lineup because it is the worst. It's unnaturally funky. Like James Brown, your pocket is like James Brown. It's unnaturally funky. A good guy. What's even going on, Bird? Yeah, you know what? I will leave them together all day until they prove otherwise. Okay, Michelle. Michelle has to finish the never-ending piggy laundry. The never-ending laundry. Oh, turn around and start brushing fleece. Turn around. Tell me what you see. BB. We should watch the never-ending story. What are you doing, Phil? Look at Phil, causing trouble. Phil, it's almost your gotcha day. I think it's like a couple weeks. Gosh, and it's like 4, maybe 5. Michelle, your new nickname is M8 Shell. Okay, let's scoot up. What do we got? Pumpkin in. Bengal on the other side. Both laying down. We should have a live where we all watch a movie together. It would certainly get demonetized, but I guess that's a thing. But no talking during a movie. Hey, maybe you guys can help us out. My friend Stefan, who he directed the first movie I ever worked on. He throws parties. He lives in this really crazy I mean, it's like kind of a normal house, but it's like in this canyon, sort of. And he's got like a nice yard, and he sets up a projector, and he's been known to have movie nights. And last year, he did The Holy Grail. We all watched The Holy Grail, and he did Jaws once, and I'm trying to remember all the other movies that he's done. I watched Back to the Future 2 at his house on the day that Marty goes into the future. Not the past, the future. So I think it was like October something 20, 2035 or 2015. 30 years in the future, so from 1985. And we watched Back to the Future 2. But this summer, he's like, what are we going to watch? And I actually came up with some pretty good ideas. I said we should watch Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He's like, yeah, that's a pretty good one. He's thinking maybe Caddyshack. What else did I say? I had one other good one. But then I just thought of Ghostbusters would be a pretty good one too. It's got to be somewhat family friendly. Spaceballs, yeah, Spaceballs is a good one. Any Mel Brooks movie is a good one. BB, we see you. Yep. This is what he's just doing all the time. Pumpkin likes to nibble on Bengal's ear. All of a sudden, this whole show is about the bird. No, don't. He did just poop, and he pooped on the glass. BB doesn't really. He's the powdery kind of bird. But when his nose gets stuffy, then I will give him a bath. If you search BB cockatiel bath time, you can find a video where he went in the shower with me. It was years of me having him. You can see this little pin feather that he has. Well, you almost could. Yeah, right there. This feather. Sorry, bird. It's like still has the sheath. Well, when he flares it, you'll see. What do you say? What do you say, boys? BB, you got a date tonight? BB. You want to come up? Over here. BB, you're in the way. You gonna come up? Here, come up. All right. Bengal, what do you got to say? I don't know. This is crazy. Where is Galaxy? Galaxy's at Claire's house. Yeah. She asked me, she's like, hey, can you bird sit? And I was like, absolutely. And then she's like, last minute, she's like, no, I don't need it. I was like, really disappointed. Actually, I don't know if I've even watched G-Force all the way through. I think it came out before I had guinea pigs as an adult, and I was just a young, busy man. What a good kid. Here, we can set this up. Let me do a quick scrub. Up. It's okay. Don't bother. I'm not bothering you. Let's try it like this. Through the glass. Look at that. Through the glass. Looks pretty good. Now you could say, oh, Bengal's being so sweet. Or you could also say, Bengal's like stretched out so that Pumpkin can't get out. Oh, look at that. The sun just got low enough that it's coming through the window. So you see this right here? That is my shadow from the sun, which is just now lower than there's an eve, I guess you call it. G-force is not AI. G-force took hundreds of digital artists, probably years of hard work. It's interesting how for a while there, everything was just called CGI, and now everything that is CGI is just called AI, but they're completely different. And sorry if that's a little triggering. If Hollywood could replace the digital artists with AI tools, they would, and it's probably begun, but it'll never be, because they can't. Bengal's a super pancake. So, yeah, a lot of you guys didn't know, or maybe don't remember, that almost 20 years. Well, Pablo, there's no meat in my house. We're all plant-based here. But we could meet at the beach. We could MEET at the BEACH. But you're in Germany, so I imagine you speak... Pablo, do you speak any French as well? Yeah, we can meet just north of Venice. There's where we do these guinea pig awareness days. #, when the hair in Final Fantasy movie was groundbreaking. Ha 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 ha. Yes, there you go. I do remember when that one Final Fantasy movie came out. Yeah, incidentally, they call that the Uncanny Valley. Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. Well, that reminds me, Forbidden Planet could be fun. I still need to get Valerie to watch Forbidden Planet. But maybe we'll wait for New Year's. That would be a pretty good one for New Year's. I think for the backyard movie screening, it should be a comedy. Who is with Bengal? That is Pumpkin. Mr. Pumpkin is visiting. Pumpkin is visiting because his parents are going out of town. And they're going out of town. Bengal, your like butt is sticking up weird. It's really funny. What a sweet kid. You can't see. Yeah, Forbidden Planet is like what inspired Star Trek. Most people agree. Oh, right when I moved the camera, Bengal has to ruin it. Guinea colony. Yes, I'm pig sitting. Oh, that was a big but quite nice poop there, Bengal. Bengal has tooth issues, so whenever I get to see a good, like he has a history of tooth issues. Bengal, come here. Bengal. What a rumbler. There is enough room for both of you boys in there if you wanted to. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, there you go. Forbidden Planet, Leslie Nielsen is a young man, and he, he definitely inspired the Captain Kirk, like, space gigolo. You can't take that movie too seriously. It is very, I mean, they did, but it is just ridiculous. Because I think that movie came out before. I think there was space flight, but the moon. I think it was 59. So I don't know what they had accomplished at that point. BB, what do you say? Are you hungry? Bird, bird, bird. Bird, 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 bird. Bird, bird, bird. Ah, ah, ah. BB, I'm gonna have to put you on my shoulder. Is this the end of the honeymoon? Let me wrap my hand again. Let's take this away. You dorks. Start your engines. Okay. The guns weren't even naked. Not for like 40 more years. Yes, that was Galaxy, Pablo. How much longer are you streaming? I think maybe about another 25 minutes. Boys. I can't zoom out more than this. Why? Is that it? Is this the end of your patience, Bengal? Bengal, your butt, it's serious. Okay. Yeah, because I still have a lot of stuff to do today. Laundry. Got to try to get my workout in. And I'd really like to do some drawing. And I got to start my Discord server. Just kidding. See, this is awkward. That's awkward body language. There's no reckoning with the Bengal funk. You can clean that pocket, and it just is what it is. Pumpkin, what do you say? So, um, Ron, are you still here? Um, I'd really love to know what your plan is with those baby boys. Um, you know, people get it in their heads, all sorts of things, and then it goes bad. But, you know, my care guide is meant to be a resource. Um, it's like when it comes to guinea pig care, you could either say, I know it all. You could say, I know it all, and there's nothing else to learn. And if that's the case, if you know it all and there's nothing left to learn, then I would say, please read my care guide and tell me what I've missed, because I want all of it to be on there so that we can all share together. And then if somebody thinks to themselves, well, I don't know it all, I want to keep on learning, then I would say the care guide is a good place to start, because really you don't know what you don't know. Boys. So really, Bengal, you get like a gold star for today. Well, and that's the thing, like, I don't think I know it all, but I've tried to share as much as I can. And I want to have a place to continue to grow and share and learn. Thank you, Golden Retriever Mom. Yeah, we live in an insane world. I'm not going to get political, but we do live in an insane world where the word woke, which is just slang for being with it, for being aware, for paying attention, to being aware of justice and injustices, and where the word inclusive means you want everybody to be able to participate. And what a lot of people who think that that's a bad word, well, that's crazy. Like, get a dictionary, get a thesaurus, learn some vocabulary. But like, if you were going to throw a party, you'd say, I'm throwing a party and everybody's going to be there, and I hope you will come too, right? But when it comes to business, if you're starting a business, say you start a taco truck or an ice cream shop, you want everybody in town to come. You're not going to be exclusionary. You're like, oh, I only want a certain group to come to my restaurant. No, you want everybody. Boys. And when it comes to having friends, back in the day when we all had CDs, If your friends had all the exact same CDs as you, then you'd have to buy new CDs if you want to listen to new music. If everybody has different tastes and different music, then you can share and you can learn. And that's what diversity is. I don't want to eat the same thing every night. I don't want to listen to the same music forever. Diversity just means you get the broadest, coolest, most awesome experience. Inclusion means that you want to include everybody. I don't want to be friends with that person. They're different from me. I only want to be friends with people that have nothing more to offer. That's crazy. So I don't think, back to this question that triggered me in a good way. I missed it. Is 80s kid here too. Huge fan of Pride and your inclusivity. Yeah. I want to include everybody. Again, like if nothing but I want everybody who has guinea pigs to watch my videos, because then I get more views and then I can raise more funds for my rescue and volunteer efforts. As it is, it used to cost me, sometimes I could even get under $40 to fill up my tank of gas. California is expensive because we have gas taxes to pay for a lot of our infrastructure. There's a lot of other states that have much cheaper gas, but they don't get all the services that we get. But now to fill up my tank, gosh, it's like close to $70. So now I go to there's a casino. Yeah, $40 for a full gas tank. I have a small car. My car is only like 10 gallons. So 10 gallons at $4 a gallon is $40. Yeah. Okay, well, see, here's the thing. Gas is cheaper in the United States in general. people in Europe, they're paying by the liter, and they're paying prices that we're paying for by the gallon. And yes, so Americans don't realize that most of the world pays way more for gas than we do. But you also don't necessarily drive as much. 150 euros for 60 liters. Does anybody want to do the math on what is 150 euros in dollars and what is 60 liters in gallons? Where can you find gas that cheap on the West Coast? There's an Indian casino that right now has gas for about $5.19, I think is what it is. You know, I drive 40,000 miles a year. That's not an exaggeration. I drive about almost 1,000 miles a week. $5.36 in Reno. What gas station is that? That's actually pretty good. But actually, that's pretty expensive for Nevada. Wow. Southwest Washington, Arco is $5.15. My Arco is almost $6. And the more expensive gas companies are up. But that sounds about right. It's crazy. It is crazy. $60 equals 15,853 30. That's not a number. But good try. Maybe you just meant 15 gallons. 60 liters is 15 gallons. That's probably right. And how much is 150 euros? Yeah, what people outside of the United States, 16 gallons, that's a lot. So 15 100, now you're making me do math. If that's 16 gallons for $175, man, I don't want to do the math. But yeah, people, $1.78 in North Texas at a new grocery store called BJ's. We have a BJ's out here, I think. Well, that's super cheap. Sounds like it's half water. They might have some kind of scheme going on. Oh, ATL Bozeman 420. So yeah, I'm a rescuer. I don't know where you live or what your plan is, but don't breed guinea pigs. There's no money in it. There's absolutely no money in it. The females that you breed, well, first of all, if you have a male and a female together, she's already pregnant. Guinea pigs can get pregnant at three weeks old. And if you breed them and you back-to-back breed them, you're shortening their lifespan. But maybe you don't care about that. I want more for me, so why don't you rescue them? Why don't you go on Pet Finder? Why don't you go to my worldwide rescue list and rescue them? Don't breed guinea pigs in the United States. This summer, people are dumping guinea pigs everywhere. Be a hero. Save a life. Don't breed animals. Don't buy them from the pet store. Yeah, so I don't know if you're living in a place where there aren't animals in need, but you must not be in the United States. But with a screen name like 420, I would guess that you are. If you love your piggies, so check out my website, Scotty's Animals. Do you have a boy and a girl living together right now? Because if you do and they've been together for longer than 5 minutes, then guess what? You're going to have babies on the way. So I would separate the boy from the girl right now. Yeah, don't feed pet store animals where you've signed a social contract saying that you'll take care of them. Don't feed them to all right. You guys getting sick of each other? You did really good though, Bengal. You did really good. It's just very triggering. I've been a volunteer at the Los Angeles Guinea Pig Rescue for 15 years. Here in California, they are dumping guinea pigs. Okay, good. They're in different cages. Every day we get messages, people saying that they found guinea pigs in dumpsters, that they found guinea pigs in on the side of the road, in a box, on trails. There are so many guinea pigs, but if you're new to guinea pigs, then there's a little bit of work that I would do before I started getting more. Make sure, like if you read through my care guide, make sure that you've got a minimum of 10 square feet for a pair. And if you have a boy and a girl in separate cages, I would definitely not put them together, even for a minute. I would not breed them at all for any circumstance. I would not put them together even for a few minutes. But the female is going to want a female friend, and the boy is going to want a male friend, and you should watch my bonding rules video. It'll be really easy to find a female for her. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to find a friend for him. Yeah, generally, so you can check out on my homepage, scottiesanimals.com. There's a link to my worldwide rescue list. There's probably a rescue pretty close to you, and they can help you find a friend for your boy. All right, looks like I had a connection issue there for a second. Yeah, it's I mean, people every day do selfish things that hurt others. But if you want to be kind and you want to give your piggies the best life, and you also care about the suffering of animals, then you'll reach out to a rescue or the shelter. You can go, Guinea Pig Finder is a place where people post their own personal pigs that they're trying to rehome. Pet Finder is a resource. Petfinder.com is a resource where shelters and private rescues list the animals that they have that are available for adoption. There are plenty of people that, and here's the thing. Whenever I talk about breeding, yeah, Mino is participating in a rescue of 100 guinea pigs dumped in the woods. Every day, guinea pigs all around the world are being dumped in horrible situations. And someone who is caring, who wants the best for their animals, if they can provide a good home for them, that saves a life. So, well, plenty of people have gotten really bad information about what it takes to care for these guys, and so they end up in crappy cages that end up getting very stinky. They have unrealistic expectations. So for instance, this cage is too small for a pair. This is Bengal. This is his spot. This is Pumpkin. He's visiting while his family is away. And I've known them for a while, and I've known Pumpkin for a while. And Pumpkin lost his cage mate not too long ago. And so even though he has a whole setup for himself, he's just spending some time with Bengal. They're just having a little play date. I took Bengal's house out. I put a tunnel in. So normally Bengal's setup, and I'm going to clean out this fleece. Normally his setup is something like this. Let's get this water over here. And this is fine for a single boy. Now that I just put his house in there, Bengal might be a little bit more territorial. So here, an interesting thing to think about is that any animal that can be bought or sold in a pet store is going to be on Pet Finder. Any animal that can be bought or sold at a pet store, somebody somewhere is making plans to dump them on the side of the road, in the garbage. We see like guinea pigs in small pet store cages, literally put in dumpsters. I don't know why. And that's the thing. If you're a good person, you don't know why either. But there's plenty of despicable people who know exactly why, because they couldn't be bothered to rehome them because they got into something that they that they didn't fully plan for or research. Yeah, it's triggering because we fight against this all the time. Um, I've had people come into the rescue and they're like, "Well, we only want to just do one litter." Now, here's the thing: if you find a rescue near you, many times, quite frequently, like Valerie just said, the LA guinea pig rescue, we took in. Think about this: somebody had a dozen guinea pigs living in a dirt hole, and we rescued them, and 3 of those mamas just had babies today at the rescue. So there could be 10 or more cute babies at the rescue right now. And rescues all across the country and all across the world are constantly taking in animals that are possibly and frequently pregnant. So there's always opportunities to see baby piggies. And yes, bird. So and pretty frequently, if you like, when I'm volunteering at the rescue, babies will be like just born, or we'll see them born. And it's guilt-free. And sometimes rescues might even let you foster a pregnant mama and baby. I've been able to do that for LA Guinea Pig Rescue before. And that's how, when Nate was born, my pig Nate, I kept him. And there's no guilt. It wasn't my fault. I didn't. Is it the end of the world if a guinea pig gets accidentally pregnant? No. The chances of survival, if they're young and healthy, are pretty good. If the mama has good nutrition when she's carrying the babies, the chances of them all being born alive are pretty good. It's not unsurprising for there to be a stillborn. So if you got kids and you want to have the miracle of birth at home and then the babies are born dead, it's pretty heartbreaking. Scotty's Guide to the Guinea Pig Galaxy, a whole remarkable device for navigating the squeaks, snacks, and small fuzzy civilizations of the known universe. Good Lord. I'm down with that. Have you thought of a font? So yeah. If the guinea pig was already or accidentally pregnant, I would make sure that she's got the best nutrition possible. And probably it's when, I'll have to find out, because I don't know if Saskia would publicize necessarily, oh, there was X number of stillborns, because these pigs have only had good nutrition for the last few weeks. So I wouldn't be surprised if there weren't stillborns. Me too, Robbie. I miss Nate. But there's no reason to complicate life and the world by breeding animals that already there are so many unwanted ones. So, yep, I got to be in here cleaning cages. So, I'm going to let these boys stay together for a little while. And maybe Nate can even go visit. Nate. Bengal can go visit Pumpkin later. But I'll just let them stay together as long as they prove that they can get along. So if for some reason you only had a pair, I would recommend, or if you had a pair only in a cage like this, a habitat of this size, I'd recommend 2 tunnels like this. You see how they can still go around the widest circumference of the enclosure. All right. I'm trying to follow. So it looks like, what time is it, BB? 5:08. We gotta get our laundry together. I gotta clean some cages. We gotta get some stuff together. Yeah, Mino, you're right. It's very heartbreaking to see uh, newborn babies not thrive. Pablo, I'm missing the first part of your comment. Okay. Well, Boss Man, I don't know if you're still ATL Boss Man. Is that Atlanta Boss Man 420? Yeah. Could that be ATL? I went to school in Savannah, by the way. Um, so I have a fondness for the Peach State. I do know that in Decatur, which is not that close, their Oakhurst Guinea Pig Rescue is there. BB, what are you going to do? You going to have some lunch? We are going to, I don't know if I think I have to do my cardio before I eat anything to maximize. What do you say, bird? But, BB, if you play your cards right, we can have some noodles. You like noodles, don't you, bird? BB, do you want some noodles? We gotta wait. Tonight we can have some noodles. BB, do you want? BB, do you want? BB, do you want some noodles tonight? Yeah, well, we're doing a intermittent fasting day. If I eat now, I'll get too sleepy. So I'm probably just gonna have to drink some tea, pound some water, and yeah, these guys aren't fasting. I like it, actually. I feel more productive when I'm not like totally too full. Okay, I'm not getting it. All right, so I think we had an interesting live today. We got to see a nice, mature, friendly side of Bengal, which we never get to see. So we're just going to let this love fest continue. And I got to get to work. Also, yeah, I've got to edit a video tonight for tomorrow. I think you guys will be super happy and excited. Spoiler alert. Speaking of the dirt hole piggies, we were able to get two more. The remaining two that the lady, if you remember the drama of the story, the one of the people that was supposedly helping us, who may actually have been the person that put these pigs in the hole in the first place, when we went to go pick up the ones that had been saved from the hole, this person would not give us all of them. And finally, we were able to get the last 2. Now, there may still have been more in the hole, but there was a whole bunch of pigs in the hole. And then there was an initial group that was taken out. And when we went back for the others disappeared. But of the group that was initially taken out, 2 of those were held back. They were a young boy and a young girl, absolutely adorable. They were held back. The person threatened the shelter volunteers that went there and said, "I'm keeping them, you can't take them, and I will fight you if you try." And through diplomacy and some other maneuvering, we were able to, they were relinquished to us. So there still may be a whole other group that may have been relocated to yet even another hole. Yeah, but the fact is we don't know what is true and what is not true, because things that we thought were true have potentially turned out to be lies. The person who was supposed to be an ally may have been the one perpetrating this all along. So there is an open-ended mystery about what is going on, but we had eyes on 13 pigs. Initially, we were able to save the 10 girls and Ernie, the 1 boy, and the 2 were still stuck over there. So yes, so I've got some video of the other 2, and I will be sharing that story tomorrow before the live stream, before Saskia's live stream. So should have plenty of time to watch it. It's crazy. Whew. Okay, guys, I gotta get back to work. And, you can always message me through the contact page on my website, scottysanimals.com. I got to check my emails now since I have been away from the emails for a couple hours. I've been corresponding with a couple people today, dealing with sick piggies. But, you guys can always reach me through there. And I will see you guys in the comments tomorrow. Thanks for participating in this chat. To all you guys, thanks for all the likes and the thumbs up and for potentially new subscribers. If you can barely hear a little crying. So let's end this before these guys fight and ruin their good new reputation. Bengal. Wow, it's the middle of the night for Mino. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out again. Look, we've done a few Fridays in a row, and the ones that we missed, we had a live premiere. That was pretty good. So thank you guys so much. Really, don't hesitate to message me, you guys. And with that, don't you flip it. Don't you... oh, look at that. Don't anybody encourage this behavior. But that reminds me of Gizmo when he used to flip his bowl all the time. Not Gizmo. Jeez. I'm losing my mind. Gary. My sweet Gary Bear. All right, guys. I'm going to end it here. Yeah, I can't commit to every Friday just yet, but it is an important priority. So, yep. Don't shop, adopt. All right, guys. I will talk to you soon.